Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely pumped to have you joining me today. We're going to jump right into an investigation about something that affects literally millions of households worldwide. We are talking about recent reports and tests regarding safety on massive online gaming platforms. Specifically, we're taking a hard look at Roblox and their highly publicized attempt at age segregation. It's a fascinating, kind of complex topic, but as always, we're going to break it all down so it makes perfect sense. So this leads us right to the ultimate question, doesn't it? Is the world's biggest gaming platform actually safe for kids? If you're a parent, a gamer, or honestly just a tech enthusiast who's curious about how these massive digital ecosystems regulate themselves, you are definitely going to want to pay close attention, because some recent platform tests are revealing a shocking gap between what is supposed to happen and what is actually happening when a child logs on. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the expectation, the new age tiers. Now, on paper, the setup here is pretty elegant. The platform essentially built three entirely different worlds. First up, you've got Roblox Kids. Think of this as the vault. It's meant for anyone under 9 years old or anyone who is totally unverified. It only allows minimal or mild content and communication completely disabled by default. You even get this distinctive blue background so parents know exactly what tier their kid is in. Then, moving up, we have Roblox Select. This bridges the gap for the 9 to 15-year-olds. It opens up moderate content. Chat is restricted for the 9 to 12 crowd unless a parent explicitly says it's okay, but it automatically flips on for 13 to 15-year-olds. And finally, regular Roblox. 16 and up, full access. Anything goes. It seems like a pretty brilliant tiered approach, right? A heavily restricted zone for the youngest and more freedom as you age. But here is the absolutely crucial catch in this whole system, and it's all about how it handles unverified users. The platform knows kids lie about their age. We all know that. So the safety net is designed so that if you cannot physically prove your age with an ID or a verification check, the system is supposed to automatically default you into this highly restricted, lockdown environment. It basically assumes you're under 9 just to keep you safe. Well, that is the expectation anyway. Section 2, the reality, loopholes in the system. To see how this system holds up in the real world, we can look at some recent tests by a popular creator named Creekcraft, who decided to stress test this whole thing. Now, these new tiers are currently only rolling out in the Oceania region, so step 1, he launched a VPN to simulate being in Australia or New Zealand. Step 2, he created a brand new account and just manually typed in a fake birth year, something like 2014 or 2015, making the account appear to be around 9 or 10 years old. Step 3, he simply accessed the platform. And what happened next completely broke the intended safety model. Remember, the expectation was really simple. Since he didn't verify his fake birthday with an actual ID, the platform should have recognized the risk and defaulted him straight to that highly restricted Roblox Kids tier. But the reality? No way. His account with a totally unverified, self-reported fake birth year was placed directly into Roblox Select. Without a single ID check, he was immediately granted access to moderate content and wider platform features. The automatic safety net completely failed to catch him. Which leads us to a pretty alarming question. What is actually stopping a child from setting their age to 30? If the system currently accepts self-reported birth years and pushes users into higher tiers without enforcing that ID check, well, the answer is absolutely nothing. A 5-year-old can literally click a drop-down menu, say they were born in 1990, and gain full, unrestricted access. Section 3, the moderation failure, when filters fail. During these tests, things got even more concerning. Creekcraft pointed out something honestly horrifying. He noted, boys and girls pool roleplay is able to be played by this Roblox Kids account. Remember, he was testing an actual Roblox Kids account at this point. The tier meant strictly for kids under 9, the one that should only feature minimal or mild content. He used the search bar to look for mature party games, stuff that shouldn't even register on this tier. And yet, an inappropriate pool roleplay game popped right up, totally accessible. And this brilliantly illustrates why letting these games slip through is just a total nightmare. First off, it means mature-themed games are completely bypassing the minimal or mild content filter. Somehow, a mature-themed game received a minimal rating. Second, it makes this content directly accessible to the highly vulnerable 4 to 9-year-old demographic. Third, as the test showed, these specific types of games often act as a breeding ground for inappropriate interactions among users. And finally, it proves that right now, platform-level automated filters are deeply, deeply unreliable. There is just sheer frustration surrounding this topic. And it's perfectly captured by the sentiment. This is attempt number 69 at this point. Platforms have poured massive resources into trying to moderate these specific environments, trying to filter out bad actors and inappropriate games from children's feeds. And yet, even with all these new layers and new tiers, the bad content still finds a way to slide right through the cracks. It's incredibly difficult to police, but the current state of it is undeniably failing the youngest users. Section 4, the future of platform safety.
So, looking at the current landscape, I guess the one silver lining is that this tier system is currently only live in Oceania. It's not global yet. However, a global rollout is pending. And considering Australia alone has a massive player base that's already exposing these deep flaws, it really hits on the core dilemma for the whole industry, balancing child safety with the friction of mandatory ID verification. Companies want user growth, right? And requiring government IDs creates massive friction for users. But without it, safety is clearly compromised.
0. Right now, based on these tests, that is the number of effective barriers currently stopping a determined child from bypassing the intended safety features. If they can just self-report their age, and the minimal filters aren't catching mature games anyway, the safety net effectively drops to 0.
Which leaves us with this final, incredibly provocative question to ponder. Can digital age gates ever truly protect the next generation? Can any platform filter actually work without stricter, highly verified identity checks? It's a question the tech industry has to answer, and they need to answer it fast before this new system rolls out to the rest of the globe. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.